Hey guys, welcome back to Any Movie Recap. I'll be going over the movie titled The Collector, a 2009 film. This is your host, Angel, with Any Movie Recap. Spoilers are ahead, be warned. Let's get it. The movie begins with a house at night. The owners, Larry and Jenna Warden, come home from a night of drinking. The lights don't work. Jenna calls out for him, so he rushes upstairs. In their bedrooms, they find a big red box. Larry assumes one of the workers must have left it. On top of the box is a message for the collection. The box suddenly moves. Larry opens the box and is shocked to find what's inside. A hand suddenly reaches out and grabs Larry. After the opening credits, we see another two-story house having some construction. Among the workers are an exterminator and a man named Arkin. The family living in the house is Michael, his wife Victoria, their teenage daughter Jill, and their little girl Hannah. Michael asks for Arkin to finish putting bars on the windows today. While outside, Arkin smokes a cigarette while putting up the remaining bars. After he finishes, Michael pays Arkin for his work, throws in a little extra for Arkin's daughter Cindy. Arkin thanks him, and he drives off. Later, at home, Arkin and his wife Lisa go to the kitchen, where she asks him for the money. Where's the money at? It turns out that Lisa owes money to the loan sharks, and the deadline is tonight. She's planning on running away with Cindy since she can't pay them. But Arkin promised to get the money for her debt. Arkin calls Roy and wants to see him immediately. They meet at a sleazy strip club and talk inside Roy's car. Arkin is an ex-convict, and Roy helped him out while in prison. Arkin has been repaying Roy by picking locks, stealing things for him. Arkin tells Roy that he's been casing the house he's been working on. Michael is a jewel broker and has a valuable jewel hidden in a safe. The family is out of town now, and he needs Roy to pay him tonight. Roy finally agrees to the change of plans and allows Arkin to leave. Arkin drives back to the house at night, and we see that the house is in the middle of nowhere. He puts on a mask and grabs his tool bag. As he sneaks toward the house, he is suddenly attacked, which takes a bite out of his mask. Arkin picks the lock to the back door and he enters, and everything seems fine. He goes upstairs to the master bedroom, lifts the mirror up, knowing that it covers the safe. He takes off his mask and starts to crack the safe, when all of a sudden he hears someone downstairs. The collector, a killer who wears a black mask, locks the back door and starts to come upstairs. Arkin quickly puts the mirror back, grabs his bag, and hides in the other room while the collector is on the other side of the wall. The collector goes into the bathroom, and Arkin sneaks downstairs. He tries to leave, but finds that there are several locks on the top of the back door, all of which are all now locked. There are also several locks on the front door as well. Arkin decides to find another exit, but for his family's sake, he finally decides to stay in the house to get the jewel. He goes to the master bedroom and works on the safe again when he hears screaming through the vent. Michael emerges from the basement, beaten and bloody. Arkin hides his bag and goes to see what's going on. He sees that the collector grabbed Michael and took him to the basement. Arkin, having seen the whole thing, decides to call 911 and doesn't see that a spike has been placed on the receiver. When he puts it to his ear, it stabs him. He decides to leave through a window. He tries to remove the boards, but some hidden blades slam down on his hands. He realizes that there are several traps hidden around the house. The floor of the dining room is filled with bear traps. Arkin goes to the kitchen to get scissors, but finds that it's booby trapped. The collector is roaming around the house. Arkin tries to go up the staircase, but finds that nails have been placed on the steps. With the collector coming closer, Arkin has two choices. Either go upstairs or go to the basement. But he ends up choosing the basement. Arkin uses his flashlight to see when all of a sudden he gets startled by something. He turns on the light and sees that Michael has been tied to a chair. He's bloodier than ever before, having been tortured with deep gashes all over his body and feet. Arkin asks where the rest of his family is. Victoria is in the basement as well. Jill is out with her boyfriend, and he doesn't know if Anna is still in the house or not. Michael then tells him that he has a gun in a safe upstairs and gives him the combination. Arkin has Michael quiet down and goes into the other room, where he finds Victoria chained to a bathtub. She also had duct tape pinned over her eyes. Arkin removes a gag from her mouth and calms her down. He wants her to scream so that the collector comes downstairs so he can sneak back upstairs. He tells her to stop screaming once the killer comes down here, so that he won't hurt her. Victoria screams, causing the collector to come downstairs. Arkin sneaks upstairs and goes to the bathroom. He opens the safe and grabs the pistol inside. He also takes the jewel, which is the size of a fist. The only problem is that there's no bullets in the gun. Arkin looks all over for him, but doesn't find her. He hears a noise coming from the closet. He opens the door and finds a big red box inside. He opens the box and Larry lunges out. His legs are chained to the box. Arkin asks him who he is and what he's doing there. Larry explains that the collector collects people. When he finds someone that he likes, he'll capture them in a box and use them as bait for his next victims. He kills everyone else, like his wife Jenna. Larry yells for Arkin to get out while he still can, but Arkin puts him back in the box. Arkin goes into Jill's room and sees that the window is wide open. He doesn't see that the floor is covered in some yellowish orange substance. Arkin takes a couple steps in it and realizes that it's acid. Arkin grabs a paper clip and sneaks into the basement again. Once there, he finds that Michael has been hung upside down and killed. He goes to the other room and frees Victoria from the bathtub. Yet, the collector finds her and repeatedly stabs her in the chest, causing her to fall down the stairs into the basement. Arkin hides under a desk as the collector drags the still alive Victoria back to the tub. Arkin uses the opportunity to escape back upstairs. The collector sews Victoria's mouth shut and records her screams. Arkin breaks a window with a lamp to try to escape, but then hears a car outside. Jill and her boyfriend, Chad, are fooling around in Chad's car. The collector also hears the car and goes upstairs. Arkin tries to warn them not to come inside the house, but it starts to rain outside, causing his screams to go unnoticed. Jill and Chad go inside the house and continue to fool around, oblivious to all the traps around them. They go to the kitchen, where Chad rips Jill's blouse open and takes off her bra. Arkin sneaks downstairs and crawls underneath the dining table. Jill eventually notices the collector nearby and becomes scared. The collector readies his knife and approaches the couple. He stabs Chad through the hand and pushes him through the doorway, where a trap causes a cleaver to slice his finger off. Chad then steps into the dining room, where his leg gets stuck in a bear trap. He falls to his knees, causing his other leg to get caught. He finally falls backwards, where he is brutally killed by bear traps. The collector grabs Jill and locks the back door again. She calls 911, but he pulls her away before she can say anything. Arkin sets off an alarm clock upstairs, causing the collector to go investigate. Arkin finds that Jill has been tied up to the staircase with barbed wire. He frees her, but she freaks out and grabs a pair of scissors from the kitchen. A chap throws her across the room and she is impaled by hidden spikes behind a projector screen. Arkin goes upstairs, removes the boards from a window, and punches the glass out. He jumps down to the ground and starts to run away when he turns around, looks back, and sees Hannah screaming out for him in the window. He then sees the collector making his way towards Hannah, having heard her screams. Arkin runs back to the house, but the collector reaches Hannah first. He corners her on the staircase, but Arkin shows up and pistol whips him. He carries Hannah to her room and locks the door. They hear the collector trying to break down the door. Arkin comes up with an idea. Hannah and Arkin stay off the floor, body as a battering ram on the door. Arkin sends Hannah down a laundry chute, which sends her to the basement. Before Arkin can go down the chute, the collector breaks through the door and grabs him. While they fight, Arkin rips the collector's mask off. The collector knocks Arkin out and puts his mask back on. Arkin has been placed in the basement. His hands are handcuffed and there are several fish hooks impaled in his back. The collector wakes Arkin up by slicing his forehead with a knife. Arkin sees Hannah hiding under the desk and pleads with the killer to let Hannah go. The collector notices that Arkin keeps looking towards the desk and approaches it. Arkin insults the collector. Angrily, the collector slices Arkin's chest. He also knocks out one of Arkin's teeth. Another car arrives at the house. It's a cop responding to Jill's 911 call. The collector leaves the basement. The cop looks into the house and sees Chad's mangled body. He goes around back and finds the collector standing outside. While the cop tries to arrest him, the cop lunges at him and rips his throat open. The collector then breaks the cop's neck, killing him. Arkin painfully tears himself free from the hooks and gets Hannah. They find that Victoria is dead in the bathtub. Arkin sees that the collector has filled the tub with gasoline and realizes that he plans to burn the house down. The collector grabs the cop's shotgun and enters the house with his dog. To get out of the basement, Arkin ties himself to Hannah and crawls through the laundry chute. He pulls Hannah up just before the dogs attack her. Arkin then lights a toilet roll on fire and puts it into the trash can. When the dog goes upstairs to attack them, Arkin shoves a flaming trash can into the dog's head, killing it. Arkin fights the collector and knocks the shotgun into the basement. They beat the crap out of each other, and Arkin knocks the collector into the basement. The collector grabs a shotgun and blasts his way through the door. He finds Arkin holding Hannah nearby. He shoots at them, but realizes that he's been fooled. He just shot at the mirror. Arkin and Hannah are actually behind him. Arkin releases the wire for the chandelier, causing it to crush and stab the collector. Arkin and Hannah make it outside and run off. The collector, wounded, also leaves the house. They get to the road where Arkin sees a swarm of cops heading their way. He has Hannah stay by the side of the road. He runs in the middle of the road to flag them down, only to get hit by a cop car. Of course. Arkin, dazed, looks to Hannah and sees the collector sneaking up behind her. He yells out for her as he grabs her, but he sees that the man who grabbed her is a police officer. Hannah is safely placed in the cop car. As Arkin is put in the stretcher and loaded into the ambulance, the house explodes in the distance. Suddenly, a van crashes into the ambulance, causing it to flip over and land upside down. The van moves closer to the ambulance. The collector opens the ambulance and throws a knife into the paramedic's eye, killing him. He then uses another knife to cut Arkin free of the stretcher. Arkin begs and pleads with the collector to let him go. After bringing Arkin to the back of his van and having thrown him inside the red box, it is revealed that the collector is the exterminator who Arkin had worked with at the beginning of the film. After the credits roll and they end, we see that the collector is watching a slideshow while sitting on top of the red box, and inside, Arkin yells that he's going to kill him once he gets out. The collector ends up kicking the box to shut him up. And that's the end, guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Instead of having a AI text reader read what I type in, I'd just rather read it along with the video. If you don't mind, I'd love for you guys to comment and leave a movie that you would like me to go over. That'd be really cool. And as always, please like and subscribe and click the bell icon. I'd appreciate it. And I'll be posting more videos more frequently for you guys to enjoy. This is Any Movie Recap, out.